2-1, and we're live! Here we are. It is MOOC Office Hours. It's Sam, your favourite MOOC fun person of fun. And it's been a long day here. It's at Makers Academy in London, and we're blessed to be joined by a number of people in the hangout. We've got Dag and Eric and Michelle and Raheem with us. I don't have anybody joining me in person yet here. I've switched to a different room, so I may have confused people on this side. The 169.1 is just about finished. I think that tomorrow is the last day that you can get, you can submit homework for with the 25% discount, or 25% penalty. But oh yes, and Paul joined us in person. Yeah. Come on in, Paul. Sorry, we're just a slightly different room here. Yeah. Hangouts live. We've got lots of friends with us, and yeah, just saying that 169.2 has started as well, and I think the week 1 materials are out. We've got Osipenko here as well with us.
Hello.
And we've just released on, it's Wednesday today, so Tuesday, we released the week 2 materials on legacy, and we've got the first part of the legacy homework coming out tomorrow. So let's just, let's pop a little screen share on. I guess I'm going to move the screen share up there. And probably what I want is maybe we'll just have, yeah, here we go, here's the 169.2, I've got the chat there, let's go to the courseware. And so, you know, as usual, we could be talking about anything. You know, the Oracle of Bacon homework is due tomorrow, but we could certainly look at any challenges that people have faced working through the Oracle of Bacon homework, or RESTful HW, as I've also started calling it. But yeah, we can talk about any aspect of the 169.2 course, or even we could, you know, review things, you know, from wrapping up in 169.1. We had a break last week, and yeah, I had sort of a little breather. But so yes, I'm very happy to cover things on either course. Does anybody have anything they particularly like to look at? Like, all see in person?
I have trouble with it. It's here to learn from the others.
Sure. Does anybody who's here in the remote session with us feel free to just type into the group chat if there's particular things that you want to talk about or you'd like to focus on. One thing just off the top of my head was I noticed in the chat one person mentioning that they were surprised by the refactoring and legacy materials, which you know, basically just got released yesterday. And they were saying they were surprised to see this kind of materials in a course like this, and they felt it was inappropriate to have you know, materials on, I guess, supporting legacy systems in a software engineering course. I didn't, partly because of the chat, and I was like on and off, I didn't really get a chance to follow up with that person. I wonder if perhaps what they were feeling was, you know, this is the brave, bold, cutting edge of software engineering. We shouldn't be talking about, you know, legacy stuff. That's old, dead things. That shouldn't be there. But as Armando mentions in, I think, one of the videos, Armando and Dave are busy going around all the Silicon Valley companies and asking them, what is the key skills that you want to have in the programmers who work for you? The thing that everybody said was, we want people to be able to handle legacy code. So it's being able to manage legacy code is hugely useful if you want to get a job. Of course, it's not necessarily quite so useful if you're trying to build things, you know, from scratch, build greenfield projects. At the same time, the code that you wrote 3 or 4 months ago ends up being legacy code. So, you know, even just for dealing with your own personal projects, I think the skills that you have for managing legacy code are very, very useful indeed. But I don't know, has anybody else managed to watch these week 2 lectures?
Yeah, I really liked. I didn't know what RDoc ever did.
Oh, okay.
And he explained that, how it automatically generates.
Mm-hmm.
I've never.
Okay. Right. Good show. Yeah.
Yes, I see part of it also, but it was the concepts are relatively simple. But when you are facing the code, it's not obvious for me sometimes to choose a solution or another one.
Right. Sure.
I mean in the little quiz. It's so obvious.
Right. You're saying that the embedded quizzes were helping you make, see,
Yeah.
get an
Yeah.
intuition about, one thing over another.
No, I think that is more below, but there was one with extending code. Perhaps I don't remember. Perhaps 9.6 or so. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
I think that or yes, 9.6. The little quiz in 9.6.
the little quiz in 9.6.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, Dad is just in the chat saying he particularly liked the stuff on refactoring, but yes, this, what is the goal of method level refactoring?
No, perhaps I don't think. There is one with perhaps it's the 9, but I don't remember. Yes, this one. No, there is one where it asks about what. Oh,
Well, not to worry. I mean, you
I
want.
don't remember, but that was we have a choice between making subclasses or making I don't know, something like this. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
Right.
Not
Right.
so obvious the right answer for me.
Right. This one. So, which statement is least compelling for the design? That donations and tickets should subclass from a common ancestor. Yeah. So there's kind of a design here where we're talking about the domain model. We've got tickets. We've got donations. They've got certain things in common, but there are certain differences between them. And so, as Armando was saying, yeah, they definitely have two collaborator classes, and they both could implement common interfaces, but their association is not so strong that they should be subclasses of a certain common ancestor. So yeah, and then this is all, it's all debatable about design. It's a very slippery.
Yes, and that's typically what we can encounter in Java.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think when you're programming, you encounter these kind of decisions in design all the time, and I think that the difficulty is that these things are sort of rules of thumb. What I say to everybody I work with is, I think the critical thing is that any design decision that you're making about choosing to mix in a module versus using encapsulation or versus composition, using inheritance versus composition, is that anything you're doing, you need to be linking to the high-level user story. What, user story is any change that we're making supporting. How does it bring value to some user? Because you can spend ages playing around and changing things and adjusting the design. Is it really, was one better than another? Bottom line is it is it helping your users do some of the things that they need to do? Anyway, but so that was refactoring and legacy. We'll have the legacy homework come out tomorrow. Yeah, and the advanced Rails, and I guess perhaps no surprises in there for people so much. Baya has joined us. Welcome, Baya. Great to have you with us. Yeah, any thoughts or comments on the advanced Rails or anything at all about the Oracle of Bacon homework?
I have one quick design question.
Sure.
The Oracle Bacon I noticed seeing is classes within classes.
Yes.
And
right.
Where that fits in the entire why they use it, I guess, instead of techniques.
Yes. I wonder if I can quickly look in here and see if I've got hopefully I'm not doing a complete solution here. Oh no. Go on. Let's get rid of all of these. Okay. Let's go and look. So I mean, that classes within classes, the sort of I mean, I remember seeing that a lot in Java. Let's go. I've got my temp Oracle of Bacon, live Oracle of Bacon. Yeah. So yeah, here we've got this class response inside the class Oracle of Bacon, and it's basically you can do it wherever you want. It's kind of sending a message that this class is really tightly associated with the class in which it's embedded. Similarly here with these the different errors, and so it's kind of what we're sort of saying is that this really doesn't make much sense, independently of the Oracle of Bacon class. Similarly for this response, and I mean that we can come back to the fundamental reason for having a class is that we've identified a natural set of methods and state that kind of go well together, and it's if you can identify within your existing class a set of things that themselves make sense for encapsulation, then that's perfectly reasonable to do that. And but they're never really going to be used outside that class, that's having it as an inner class, that was what it would usually be called in Java, that would be fine. Is that answer your question? We've got a couple of questions in the chat there. Ospienko is saying, homework, constructing the URI, what is the best solution for it? String concatenation? I would say, that was probably what I used, if I remember the part of it. That's, if we actually got the, click on the right screen here, make URI from the arguments. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think that there are, there's probably, I can't really see a strong argument to do other things. And there's various, we've got to do the URI escaping and so on. But string encapsulation, string concatenation. Well, it depends what you mentioned string concatenation. I think what I'd be particularly keen to use is string interpolation. Sorry, I kind of read that there. So, I mean, string concatenation would usually be that you'd have something like this, and you'd just be like appending strings together like so. So that would be, what I would usually consider to be concatenation. I'm trying to copy the. So annoying. Copy the comment. Thank you. So concatenation, but I think probably the more. So that would allow us to be kind of writing it in a little tighter. So this kind of and in this fashion is maybe I've been institutionalized. I'm rudified. I find this to be a little bit more readable, than the pluses and the spaces, and so this would be what we would call interpolation. Like so. Yes, and then going on, we've got Eric Turk saying, I hope that answered Osipenko's question there. Do come back to me if it doesn't. Eric is saying, I liked advanced Rails. Would like to discuss homework a bit if possible. We certainly can, Eric, if you've got a specific question, or indeed if people have got bits of the code from their homework that they're stuck on and they want to show through the screen share. We have the magic of Google Hangout screen share. We could be doing that. Moises Mann has joined us. Hola, Moises Mann, I think in Peru. Great to have you with us. Eric, anything you'd like to discuss in particular on the homework? One thing I guess I will mention while we're waiting for other questions is, 2 weeks ago I was rather under the weather, and we did, I thought we covered some important stuff 2 weeks ago. I did get some follow-up comments where people were saying, oh, that was a bit kind of like out there. Well, it was, I got, two, like one, it was, oh, you were speaking too fast, which is a problem that I have. I had a very big lunch today, so I hope I'm going slightly slower today than I usually do. I mean, that's speaking too fast is a pathological problem that I have. So my apologies in general about that. I try to slow down and speak slowly. The other one is that the process of us going through parts of homework 4, I think was compared to me firing a shotgun in the air to see what I could be hitting. What I tend not to do with these things is I tend not to script them, and I think, I don't know, maybe some people want to see a really, really tight, you do this, and you do this, and you do this, and I'm not stuck on anything, and that's it. I think it's really valuable to see people getting stuck, and then seeing how they get unstuck, and that whole kind of flowing process, but that's not me. So my apologies for the lack, if there's incomprehensibility and lack of utility of any of the things that I'm doing. But do keep on asking questions, and I'll do my best. But so Eric is saying, I don't really understand how I got validate presence of API key to work.
I've got a Sam. I've got a screen share up. I'm a little nervous about sharing too much with the group. I don't know how.
Sure.
Part of the homework.
Sure. I think where we are is that if people are, what we generally encourage about the homeworks is, and other people have been asking for clarification for this, is that what we say is we particularly don't want people to put answers up on the, like GitHub or what have you, so that people can just, kind of copy them verbatim. But we are very much encouraging pairing sessions where people can, view each other's code and, constructively write code together. So, I think it's, I think let's not worry too much about that, because I think, and I've had this ongoing debate, there's this tension between assessment and learning. And I think actually being able to see each other's code and review it and so on is really great for learning. It may make our assessment less powerful in that people are not doing isolated proctored exams, but I think the benefits that we all get for sharing and looking through code are, particularly bad. And I've talked to Armando about this, and he said, even as regards the quizzes, which are the even stronger, let's not, we're saying don't pair on the quizzes, that Armando and Dave are saying they're happy for me to discuss the quiz answers in this forum, because, at least people have to kind of join the session to discuss them. So let's go to, we can go to look at Eric's screen share there. Dag's got a sort of a procedural question. So Dag, if the screen that's being shared is jumping around, if you click on the box of the person whose screen you want to look at, so I just clicked on Eric's box in the bottom of the Hangout, and that's then got a blue highlight around it, and that means that I will now see only Eric's screen. So I can see Eric's screen, and he's validates presence of API key on line 19 there. So Eric, I can see your screen. So you're saying you're not sure there why that validation is now working. Is that right, Eric?
Yes. Let me explain how I worked through it. The easy step was to add Kevin Bacon as the self from and self to on lines 32 and 33, and that, as the instructions indicated, did pass a number of the tests.
Right. Yes. Yes. Sure.
But one of the first tests that passed was the test that said where it adds. If I look at the Oracle of Bacon spec,
yes,
it describes before each. And then it makes the orb object with fake API key. I thought that what that was doing was it was assigning fake API key to the instance variable API key, so that it kind of passed that API key validation just by doing line 9 in the Oracle of Bacon spec, which I don't have on my screen.
I have it on my screen actually with it highlighted. This is the line you're referring to, line 9 here.
Yes.
This one here. So yes, in principle, this one Oracle of Bacon.new fake API key is passing in, obviously in this case, a fake API key. But I think if we look back at your screen, and we see that the def initialize API key is there. Without your line 31, it kind of won't happen. I'll just, if I go back onto my screen and we look at the Oracle of Bacon there, you'll see that initially on my lines here, 26, 27, and 28, the initialize method, it takes the API key argument, but it does not attach it basically doesn't do anything with it, right? So in the spec, that yes, this on line 9 is an attempt to pass an API key in, like the new method, as I'm sure everybody here knows, calls the initialize method on the object and passes in this parameter. So that comes in here, an API key here will be fake API key, but by itself, that doesn't actually do anything to the API key instance variable that we have declared that there will be on line 14 by having, used the attribute reader operation, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does to me.
Right. Go on.
So why couldn't I use self.API key equals API key? API key is the parameter that gets passed. This is all in the initialize method, starting
Right.
on line 29. I had to use the @ symbol instead of self.
Right.
But I didn't understand why.
Yeah, I think that's because if you do self.API key like this, it ends up with self API key is a call to the API key method, right?
Aha.
So if you do self API key like this, that's going to go and let's say that you had this, right? That's then going to go. That self.API key there is then going to go and look for some method that has this signature, API key equals with some value like this. And if we had API key as a attribute accessor or an attribute writer, or that we had defined that method somewhere, then that would work. But because we don't, we've only defined API key as attribute reader, that means that we don't have an API key equals method. So in the absence of that, we need to set it using our directly accessing the instance variable.
The object actually created at that point, that object itself is referred to? Because it's still like in the initialize.
Right, you're talking here about when you say the object, you mean the instance variable. Here that is a kind of like we might call a property or the instance variable of this class.
Like he was saying, self dot, and then self would refer to.
Yeah, so you can refer to self. So yeah, self refers to the current object. Mm-hmm. So we can refer to self, even though initialize hasn't completed. We can still refer to self. The problem is not so much that self doesn't exist; it's that the difference. What @API key does, and that's something. So, I think particularly coming from the Java world, it's the wrong thing. We're very used to in Java having these constructor methods. So if we were in Java here and we've done class Oracle of Bacon, we might have something like public. This is a bit of Java code. So public. And then we would have something like very common in Java API key. That's a very common Java idiom that I'm sure many people are familiar with. And when we learn, I think Java is coming to Ruby. When we learn that, okay, this is we're tempted to do things like that with the self. There is kind of no equivalent in Java in that this .API key there and API key are kind of identical, and this would only be a method call if we put parentheses on it in Java. You have to have the parentheses on it in order for something to be a method call. That would and not be an equals thing there. But so this is that there's a sort of a fundamental ambiguity when you're using Ruby that self.API key could refer to an instance variable. Or it could refer to a method. I guess actually, if we're doing self.API key, really what that's saying is that this self.API key, if we refer to API key here this is what's fundamentally ambiguous. Sorry, try and get this information right. This could be either a method call, could be like a local variable, right? In this case, because we have a local variable API key, Ruby works out that it's you know, it's going to be a local variable. But if we didn't have that, then that could be a method call. If we have self.api like this, means is that is basically we're doing self call API key. As we know in Ruby, everything is an object, and almost everything that you do is going to be a method call on an object. So when we do self.api key, what that does is that's basically turns out, okay, we're going to take the self object and we're going to call this method on it. And we've got this sort of pattern where we have things like attribute reader, where that's then going to return. Like, so attribute reader, of course, as we know, is shorthand for having a def API key return our instance variable. Right. But so this, you know, there's no parallel in Java to this. This @ symbol here refers to our instance variable, but it's fundamentally a different thing from doing self.api key. So I think that Eric seems satisfied. Petra and Vitaly have joined us. Great to have you with us. Looks like we are full. I shall put the I'll put the stream if it will let me. Why won't it let me? I want to click on the links. I don't know. Sometimes it's. I don't know if you guys find this with a lot of user interfaces recently, and Google and Facebook and things, where recently instead of having to click, you need to mouse over, and I find myself end up getting confused about whether I should mouse over or whether I should click, and I can't get the stream up. Oh well, people will have to find the stream for themselves. I guess I could maybe go over to the. I've got the event itself here. I probably have to like play it, and then that's probably not. Questions. And see, there's people there. Hi everyone. I can't get the stream. Oh well. Can I pause that? Can I get the YouTube copy video URL? Okay, so that's the stream. Yeah. Any other? Hey, Vitaly. Any other questions on any other part at all of the Oracle of Bacon homework or any other parts of the course? I'll just put the stream link in case people are trying to come in. There we go. Yeah, that's the stream link. Put that into the events and so on. And so here. So yeah, I'll try and monitor these questions. It's often difficult for me to follow them as well because I don't. Have I turned on the Q&A? Maybe there's new questions. Q&A app. Opening it. Let me see. Yep, I'll try and monitor Q&A questions as well. Let me get rid of. I now want to kind of close that. Come back here and put the link. It's great to have so many of you joining us in the 169.2 course. You know, often in MOOCs we you start with a huge number of people and it gradually whittles down, but we seem to be staying. We had I think about 10,000 people signed up for the 169.2, and it's all looking very active, which we're very pleased about. Yeah, we've got new screenside chats from Dave and Armando, which were recorded last fall, but I think still are very relevant for the beginning of this course, talking about the Obamacare debacle in the United States. To the remote care programmers. So now I have to toggle between. Let's say hi to Felix, who's watching the stream. Eric saying, "Do I reply in the form of question?" Question answers often lead to more questions. Definitely that. Jay, is anybody else here? I think we're all here, and we're all here with you. There we go. I'll just go and check out. We've got the chat. We'll put the stream in there. We'll see what people are saying in the chat there, if anything. Some people don't like Haml. I know. I don't like Haml either. Amanda loves it. We're sort of stuck with it for the moment. Bonk. Woo! We had a bonk there. So I pasted that into those two places there. Oh, go on. Go on, Michelle.
Yes, I posted it, I think, in the discussion board. When you exercise this homework once it is finished, and you exercise it as it is explained in the background part of the homework, page 2, I think.
Mhm.
There is a problem at the end because actually the site now, I don't know how it was a year ago, but now it replies with an HTML 404 error when the API is not good. That means that we cannot retrieve it from the program. I have explained it in the.
Yes, I'm not seeing any post from you in the group chat in the Google Hangout. We can just run. I could go to my working Oracle of Bacon instance.
Okay, so but I mean that's a problem. I don't know how we can
Yeah.
at both time something which is written in XML and catch the exception about something which is passed via XML and something which should be passed with HTML.
Uh-huh.
No,
Yeah.
that's the problem. For the last one, the last example with bad API key.
Yeah, I mean, it all worked for me as recently as a week ago. I don't know if something has changed since then. We could just have a little. If I go to my IRB here, and I'm gonna try and run this. So
Just the last one with the bad API key. It's
okay, yeah. Well, let me.
end up the program, so you cannot read.
Yeah, let's have a look at that. Let me get the code loaded into. So we've got Oracle of like so. Yeah, that's true. Let me just paste in there. I've got my OOB Oracle of Bacon. But so right. So
when the bad non-bad app.
Okay, yeah. So if we make
the other one are good.
The other ones are good, but so just the last one.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we'll make one with a
bad API key.
With a known bad key.
Yes.
Right. And then
you find connection and the program stop because it tries another type of error which is not catched.
Not caught, right.
Excuse me, not caught.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry, no, I shouldn't be correcting really.
I should, I know it, but when I speak it's terrible.
Okay, right, so we get this 403 forbidden.
Yes.
Right, yes, so it is, yes, entirely possible.
Excuse me, that was 403. Yes.
Yeah, so if we have a look at their Oracle Bacon 38, right, and that's going to be...
I search how I can catch this, but as we pass as XML, I don't know how. Or perhaps we should try to pass.
Look there at 38. Well, I mean, it's, I think, here, so we're doing URI parse this read, and we've got...
Yes, but that's not an XML file.
We need to add something else there to the 403, and that's...
I tried to do that, but actually this is an HTML file. This is not an XML file, so I don't know how to pass it.
Well, this is I think, you know, we're getting an open URI HTTP error. So here, if we copy that and we're going to go and look for...
if you go right in the site, it is really an HTML page.
Yeah, so... No, on the site it will give us... But I mean, I'm sort of assuming that the... we've got... Yeah, people, you're getting this open URI HTTP error. I would have thought that the solution would be if we're catching... Yeah, I guess the interesting question is whether that's being raised as an exception. But so if we were to...
But actually it redirects.
Yeah, but so would not the solution be to have in here an additional clause like this?
I've tried it, but it doesn't.
I tried that, but it didn't work. Yeah. Yes, I'm not sure. I would have to spend some time looking into that. to see if we could.
That's only as I'm curious. No? Okay.
Sure, sure. Yes, I guess I must have not double-checked that in my process of going through the homework. That's one of the things that we have about keeping up with these things. No, but there's some way in which the error is being thrown. Anyway, but that's a very good catch, Michelle. That's definitely something we'll want to sort out there. Interesting. So here, that's now actually that's interesting. That's giving me a different error position there. It's doing. Oh no, but look. So here, look. You see here by adding that OpenURI HTTP error, it's now giving. I'm now throwing an Oracle of Bacon network error. So I have kind of wrapped that up in terms of.
Yes, but if you try to find the type, I think you have nothing. Or you have something. Response. OB response type.
Well, let's have a look.
That's the problem. It is nil, so you have to type.
The response is nil, but so then that's going to be something about in our code that we've raised the thing, our response type. Yeah, I guess I end up showing the. I guess the question about where do we do the parse response operation, but so, yeah. Anyway, I mean that's sort of my solution, which I maybe shouldn't be completely revealing at this stage in the game. But yes, so yeah, there's clearly some additional work that could be done, but we can at least catch that error by using the OpenURI HTTP error, and then there's kind of a we would need to make sure that the parse response actually gets called, and maybe yes, no, we have a wrong key, which I think which we're expecting here. This is we're trying to make sure that the we can still call the OB response type method when we get that kind of error. So we're sort of specifically checking for the situation where we have a bad key, and so in the description here it says that this is part of what we want it to do. That when it has a bad key, the response type should come back with type error and response data unauthorized access. I think, in fact, if we look at the original code for the parse response, it's already got this. If .path error is not empty, then we've got parse error response. And so I think the problem might be, so if we've got all of these things that should have been kept out there, what we need to make sure is that what we kind of need to do here is make sure that when we're calling the parse response, or that whether we have that error here.
Okay, a response, and
that
if not, we can create a fake response.
We need to kind of. I think yes, it may have been in the past that the Oracle of Bacon returned a document that was an XML document that included a slash error. And if it now doesn't do that and it's doing a 403 error instead, then we would, there's going to be no kind of XML document for it to read. So yeah, but one could, in principle, fix that by just, I guess we've got to initialize the XML. You could basically create a tiny bit of XML. So you could do, you could do like here, like the response.
Mm-hmm.
In this case.
I could equal this one, or
we could just have this, and we could
with double straight line. Yeah. Mm.
Like this. We could just do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's an XPath. No, we need something like this. But so we could now, in order to work with, this is now more legacy code. So we've got, this is the problem with these. Working with these things is
code
that we wrote for this assignment. That's now a bit of legacy code there, and so yeah, I might want to do something like this and sort of patch the error into, pretend that there was an XML document that included an error tag in order to force the parse response to actually handle the error message properly.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Oh no, you're welcome. But thank you for pointing that out. We can definitely improve that. Next time around. What I will do, make sure that we do improve that, is I will jump to our tracker course which is here, and I'm going to add an issue associated with, we'll add there, that's a bug in Oracle of Basic.
I think I put it in Stack Exchange meta.
You did, okay. That excellent, excellent. But it would then, in order for us to get it fixed, this is where it needs to get triaged. Now returns 403 in XML. And yeah, so that's in there, and that's my list for the next run of the course. Great stuff. Okay, so there we go. I guess I was gonna, yeah, on that note, I was maybe just gonna check in on the Stack Exchange and see if there was anything in there. CS 169.2, is it really a MOOC? Right. Yes. Yes, they're talking about the okay. I think the answer there is yes.
It was not very sympathetic, huh?
It's interesting. I put these questions in about have you worked through Chapter 5 of the textbook, but people are free to do so or not do so. People still get a point possible whether they click yes or no here. And it's, yes, I mean, it is quite frustrating that the ebook version is not available in every country in the world. For some reason, it's not available in Pakistan. I think it's also not available in Indonesia. But it's also, if you're in a country where you cannot get access to the ebook, you can get in contact with myself, and I can send you we can work out and make you a customized PDF copy. I guess I should maybe add that here. So textbook, if you So, yes, we definitely want to be inclusive here. Okay. Is it really a MOOC? I think we are a MOOC. I'm not, well, anyway. But what is a MOOC, anyway? Let's see if there's any. I wonder if we look at hot, what are the hot questions? That was pretty hot. We've had some little troubles with the auto graders. I think, yeah, that the homework 4 was being graded very slowly on the auto grader, and that apologies for that. That needs to continue overhaul. If anybody wants to work with a real legacy system, do come and join us and work on the auto graders project with us. Plenty to do there, I have to say, and you get to prepare with me and read some other things, fun things. Eric's saying the title on Stack Exchange still reads edX 1691. It does. I wonder if I can change that. If I go and look at, I'm not sure. I mean, basically, we took the decision to kind of, I don't know, it was such a trouble to get the edX Stack Exchange instance set up that we basically ended up, I kind of said, oh, let's just keep it in the same place. If I could work out how to edit that, can I edit that easily? I'm not sure I can. It's my mod interface there. If I do that, 107, not sure what that means. I'm also sort of getting used to the whole interface. I've got links, histories, moderator tools, analytics. Yeah, I don't know that I can easily update the title. Yes, my apologies if it's confusing. And one of the things that I'd love to have input from everybody on is how much they like or dislike Stack Exchange. It's been an experiment with this version of the course. So I could even ask a question here. Oh, can I ask a question? Right. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. I will keep these tips in mind. Proceed. Do people? Or should So, I mean, that's the question, really. And I have got a tag, forum. Okay. Post not meet our quality standards. See, this is the kind of, the question you're asking appears to be subjective, but is likely to be closed. Okay. Yeah. This is the kind of thing that some people might occasionally find frustrating with Stack Exchange. Yes, I mean, I'd say Stack Overflow, I think I absolutely love, and I think is an invaluable tool. Whether the full Stack Exchange, you know, experience is necessary for our course, I'm going to do this, like, is Stack the best? Is that going to be, Post does not meet our quality standards. For this Stack Exchange, question mark? Still subjective. So you, I mean, I think.
And if you remove Stack Exchange, that's
still, I think it's basically asking in the
also
like, which
optimum
forum.
That would be the same, no?
No, and that's
Yes.
okay. The question body does not meet. Then now I see. I've managed the title. Please make sure you completely describe your problem and it's written using proper grammar. Good grief. Okay. Thank you. So I mean, Vitaly was saying Stack Exchange is the best. Is there anything better? I mean, I think Stack Overflow is the part of the daily life of every programmer. Stack Exchange is another matter. I think there is a desire to, you know, for me, that was Stack Exchange there trying to guide me towards a certain sort of question. And I kind of feel like, yeah, I don't know, like, I just wanted to ask the question. And the alternative, I think in particular, that we did use previously was the OSQA, which is an open source forum. And I didn't get this, like, oh, there you go. No, main one not working. But we did have had running versions of OSQA, and I thought that it worked quite well. And I didn't feel when I was using it. I mean, OSQA, so Stack Overflow, yes, is a part of Stack Exchange, but Stack Exchange is the tool that is, you know, uses to support Stack Overflow. The difference with OSQA is that it's a question and answer forum, and you can have reputation and you can vote on things, but it doesn't try and force you to ask certain sorts of questions. And to be honest, I kind of feel like we should let people in the MOOC ask whatever questions they want to and have whatever kind of discussion they want to. And the Stack Exchange is kind of basically trying to close down. And Stack Exchange is the tool which supports Stack Overflow, which is the instance. I mean, if you look at, if we go to Stack Exchange doc, oh, go on, Stack Exchange. Yes, come here. Right. Stack Exchange contains many communities, and you know, we've got Stack Overflow, Serverful, Theoretical Computer Science, User Experience are the ones that I've been involved in. We've got our edX CS1691X one, but there's many of them, and there's many of the communities, and they are designed to a certain degree, quash discussion, or at least try and force the creation of certain sorts of questions that are very factual and very specific and be answered in a particular way, and then maybe discussion can hang off that to a degree, but you know, discussion is supposed to go on in the comments rather than in the questions and answers in order to try and force people to be able to mark, here was my explicit question, of the explicit answers, here's the correct one. Yes, so, what else can I say? I hope that the difference between Stack Exchange and Stack Overflow is clear there. Anyway, we now have a question on our on here. I would encourage you to respond with comments, or you even possibly even answers, if Stack Exchange will let you, to let us know what your preferences about the forum that we use going forward with the MOOC are. If you have strong feelings on the matter, one way or the other. Ooh, there we go. Yeah. So any other business of any kind? What I was going to mention was this Agile Ventures Slack instance that we're using. We've got kind of a discussion area for the MOOC. If people are, need more chat, that's not our IRC, and this is, related to all of our open source projects and the auto-graders. If you want to help out with the auto-graders, if you want to get involved in Agile Ventures projects, if you just want to chat in a sort of more ongoing fashion to people who are involved in the MOOC, then just, I guess the simplest way, I just need your email address. So if you want to email me at sjoseph@hpu.edu, I can get you added to the Agile Ventures Slack instance. So it's just a sort of chat on all things fun and techie and open source projects. And there you go. So, I'll just type my email there into the for invites to Slack. Okay. Right. I guess I'll do it.
Do you think we can right now, or you should wait till the end of the course?
For joining the Slack?
Yes.
You can join that anytime. I mean, that's just a place. That's just to get various people who are in the course can join the Slack and see. And what we're hoping, actually, one of the things I'm hoping to do in a future version of the course is replace the IRC chat with an embedded Slack chat, because I feel that the Slack is just better all round, really. And we've done some prototypes of that, and maybe that'll be ready for the next instance. But so certainly not required to get involved in the Slack now, but you could do it if you want to.
Because I feel I'm not so busy at the moment with the course.
Yeah, no, well, absolutely.
We have more per programming, perhaps on the exercises, on the book, or I don't know.
Yeah, no, well, absolutely. If you're finding that you've got spare time, then Slack and Agile Ventures is a great place to come to. I mean, we have pair programming on the Agile Ventures open source projects running every day. We have that seems like, okay, that's the PM for it. We have, you can just come to agileventures.org, and we have, if you just go to About, we have these Scrum events and pair hookups around the clock, around the day, every day of the year, and you can meet up with other open source programmers and get involved in pair programming sessions. And so you can jump into a hangout like this one we're having here. That's what these scrums are. They're hangouts, and we always have like a countdown on Agile Ventures to the next upcoming scrum. And if you're on the home page, it'll tell you when the next scrum is, and when the scrum goes live, that'll be a link. You just click on it, and it'll take you there. But we also announce the scrum and pair hookup sessions in. We've got scrum notifications there. In fact, we had a scrum just went by. I think, the America Scrum. Maybe next week, if people are interested, we could run the America Scrum as part of this session if we run out of questions. But there's also like a pairing notifications channel, and then there are channels for each of the different open source projects. Agile Ventures is kind of a open source project incubator. So we have various projects that people start, and they're looking for people to pair program with. And there's a lot of Rails projects, although there's other ones as well, Python and Go, Lang and stuff, and JavaScript. Osipenko is asking about Agile Ventures, what level is needed to start. And I think, in principle, you don't need to even know any programming at all to get started. You can come and join in and hear about the projects. I mean, a lot of the projects, like we're just looking at designing a new, I just closed down all the windows, right? A new pair programming roulette system that I'm also hoping to use in a future version of the MOOC. And I think, John Engelbert. So John Engelbert's doing the course at the moment. I mean, he's at the same stage that all you are in, and he's Vitaly. He's doing all this. He's just been doing some HTML mock-ups of what a kind of pair roulette system would look like, and there's a process. Really, to get involved, you don't actually need any programming skills at all. Simple HTML, or even just the ability to draw and express an opinion about interfaces that you would like is very valuable. I'm just trying to look for, yeah, that was what I've got this concept for a pairing robot that I'm trying to work on and trying to build. If I could find, so that's John Engelbert. He's got that was his HTML prototype. That's his prototype again. He has got also. I think it's. Yeah, but so your ability to draw with this is me on you see that figure? Yeah, this is me like designing a kind of a chat interface where you'd a bit like Code Academy, but you'd have like a little robot pairing with you on a simple RSpec thing, ping pong wise. So your ability to draw something like this, or to look at something like this and give feedback on it, that's really the minimum entry level for Agile Ventures there. I wonder. If I scroll back up even further, I can find. It's kind of I guess I could find it if I just go to Drive. But the other sort of stuff that we're doing a lot with, if I just go to drive.google.com there. Oh, there we go. Yes, that's it. So this is just using Google Draw to design interfaces for. If I increase the size of that, but not increasing the size of it, it sort of is. But so this is mock-ups that I created about how we're trying to revise things for the interface that allows us to start the scrums in Agile Ventures. And John Engelbert, who's also currently doing the 169.2 course, jumped in and is like saying, okay, maybe we can redesign the events page like this and that, and this is all. I'll post this link into here. But so if you've got an opinion on pairing online and so on. Jump in and get involved, and we're having daily discussions about how we can improve the interface for getting people into pairing sessions, so that hooking people up with they've got the same interest in the same programming languages, they're interested in pairing on the same projects. We just want a cornucopia of pairing opportunities. So there we go. Well, they're sort of clearing up here at Makers Academy, doing hoovering in the background. Apologies if that noise is overwhelming anybody. Any other questions or queries about the course at all? We're covered. Yeah. So, well, do good luck with the next homework that's coming out tomorrow. We'll carry on. I think we've got another 5 weeks or so of this course. And every Wednesday we'll be doing this until it's all over. So look forward to seeing many of you next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all of your input. And yeah, good luck. And if you want to get, my apologies, I haven't been able to really follow the chat in. So let's see, Xavier. Well, Xavier's got this question. I wonder, I feel sorry for it. Like he doesn't know that the office hours is on. Like, can you join? But we'll see if he joins. Anyway, I think he's sort of stuck on a fairly early part of homework 1. I'll hang around here in case Xavier joins us from the chat. I haven't really been able to spend much time in the chat here, but if you want a kind of a hotline to get in touch with me, then if you do send me an email and I can add you to Agile Ventures, then you can be asking questions in here. And so, for example, if you're in general or the ESAS MOOC like here, you can do @Tansaku and say, but that will attract my attention, but also there's all the world TAs are in this ESAS 169 MOOC channel, and so this is a great place to also get support as well as the chat. But Xavier, it looks like Xavier has joined us.
Hello.
Hey, Xavier, how are you doing?
Yes, fine. Thank you to give me this link.
Not at all. Not at all. It was we've been running the last hour, and yes, but great to have you. You were saying you're stuck on an early part of the Oracle of Bacon. Yeah, go on.
Well, actually, I started the homework, and I'm stuck. I created the constructor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That part, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
then I'm initializing the from and the to Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. Can I just stop you there and say, could you share your screen so we can see the code that I think that you're currently talking us through?
Yeah. Let me try to do that.
Yeah, so if you go over to the left side of the Hangouts, your mouse will, it's funny, you have to kind of mouse over it, and then it pops up a sort of a left toolbar, and the second or third one down will be a green, excellent, yes, so we've got the screen share there. Yes, I can see your screen, yes, and your code. Yes, okay, yep, you've got from and to set there to Kevin Bacon. Yep.
Yeah, then I filled in the error. And
okay.
I set the message if I have an error, if they are the same.
Mm-hmm.
The issue I have is here I'm almost green everywhere except when only from or only to are specified.
Yes, and I'm having trouble reading the text there, and it's saying something like should be valid. Yes. Okay. Yes, and this is yes.
What I don't understand is in the constructor anyway I'm initializing the to. So I don't see why it's
not valid.
Yeah.
No, and I think this is an unfortunate. I think this is a challenging error message here, and I think many people get stuck here, and it's unfortunate. So the thing is, it's saying it's not valid, right? And it's not necessary. Although you're getting that not valid in an RSpec that's talking about from and to and so on, it's not saying to you that it's not valid because of the from or to. It's just saying that it's not valid, right? So this is one of the things, like, so if we look at for example, what was the failure you're getting in there is like line 16 there, right? So it's saying it should be valid when only from is specified, but that be valid basically checks the class, is it valid? Now, if we go back to the class itself, go back to the Oracle of Bacon.rb, if you look at the validations that we have, there's 4 of them. So on lines 18, 19, 20, and 21. So if something is not valid, it means that at least one of those 4 conditions is not being met.
Okay.
And so maybe the thing that's confusing is that you think like for line 21, right, you've correctly, added in the appropriate code for the from does not equal to, right? And for lines 18 and 19, you've correctly added lines 30 and 31, right?
Yeah.
So you've dealt with 3 out of the 4 validation requirements, but that leaves an additional validation requirement on line 20.
But does this API key equal 3.8 blah 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 is not enough?
No, I don't think so. If on line 20 it's saying validates the presence of colon API key. And so similarly to, for example, on line 15, we've got attribute reader colon API key. Attribute reader API key talks about an instance variable. Yes, and I think you're on the right track there. On line 28, we're simply setting the API key, like incoming arguments, default value. Now, what you've done there on line 32, I think will now make it valid because you will now have an API key. However, I don't know that the code that you've used to do it is exactly the right one, but let's see if that now updates your test and if it fails in a different place.
I still have an issue. Well, this one is corrected now, but I have a new issue. Should not be valid.
Yes. Well, I think that there are other problems. If we go back and look at your code, I think there are a couple of problems that we can identify. In particular, I mean, or what you've done on line 32 is you've hard-coded the API key instance variable to be the actual thing that we need, and you've invalidated the, passing in of the local variable. So that's kind of bad practice. Like, really on line 32, we should be saying at API underscore key is equal to exactly API underscore key. I don't think that's the source of the problem. I think that the line 33 is unnecessary. I don't think you need line 33 at all. And I think that might be causing the problem.
Okay, because I've taken that from the documentation of.
Yes. I don't know that you need that. I don't think I had it in mine. I might be wrong about this. Maybe you will need it. I might have to refer to my own code there. But I think it's at least worth removing line 33. Oh yeah, commenting it out. That's good. And saving and just seeing if the tests now pass. Yes, I know other people in the chat are talking about getting stuck on the same thing there.
I still same.
Are you using auto test there? Are you still on the same error there? Are we now back to even more things failing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the problem partly with the validations is that it's confusing there. If I just go and look myself, I think the way that on line 25, the way that you're adding the errors looks a little strange to me. Let me just have a look at how I did it, if I can find the right thing. Yeah, I think that you're referring on your line 25 to the oh, I'll find the right thing. Yeah, you're referring to @ errors there. I don't think you want to be referring to the instance variable errors there. I think maybe just snip off the @ symbol at the beginning of line 25. I think also at the end of line 25, you're saying if : from is equal to :2, and so you're comparing two symbols that are basically always going to be different. So that's never going to, it's never going to correctly be the case. So I think what you want to be comparing is not the symbol from and to, you want to be comparing the instance variable from and the instance variable to.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just, yeah, you could do @ from and @ to, or you could even just do from and to because you've got, oh no, yeah, you've got the accessor there. But that's @ from and @ to will. So I think with that code that you have there, you might find that things now start to look a bit more rosy. You could try saving that and running that code. Yeah, one of the things that I don't like about autospec there is I would kill autospec there, clear your screen, and run rspec just to make sure that you're, you know, definitely looking at the right thing and you're on the right code. Yeah, and run rspec. Don't run autotest. I would really recommend. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, it's run one time now. If we scroll back up there. So now you're still getting instances when new should not be valid. So it's okay. And when only from is specified, I have let's just look at your code again because I think you've now got almost identical codes to me.
Well, I have added this line 9.
Hold on, just 1 second. I don't know if something else has changed in your code. Let's see your code. Yeah. So I've got, for me, in the from does not equal. I see you've added : name to attribute accessor, but that shouldn't make any difference. You've got the validates presence of : from and to an API key, and from does not equal to is exactly the same as me. You've got that's nasty. Yeah. That : errors that you've got on line 15, that's going to really screw things up. I think I would definitely remove that. Now leave the URI. Well, yeah, you can leave the URI there, but yeah, just take off that : errors because that's going to be interfering with the errors that the validation is pulling in. So. Yeah, let me just review the rest of your things there. So we've got API key is set from and to. I mean, I also set the @ URI to be nil and initialize. Yeah, why don't you try that again now? I mean, that's looking. I mean, there's always the. I mean, the other thing, of course, is that you want to be double checking that your. I'd run rspec. Yeah, I think that's safer. Okay.
Yeah, it works.
Oh, okay. There you go. I think that was it there. So actually, let's look back at your code and review why that was a problem. So if we look back at your code there, so that : error that you had at the end of attribute reader was setting it up as if you had a def error, method somewhere there, and that was then clobbering the error method that the active model validations was pulling in, so it was getting all sorts of confused.
But do we need the line 9 here?
I don't know that you do. I don't have it in mind.
Yeah, I took this from the documentation. Let's Perhaps I have a misunderstanding there.
Yeah, I don't believe it. May be that and there's also different versions of the documentation. So we're working with version 3.2.18 of Rails and the associated validations. So it's possible that that's something that's needed in the new. But when you're looking at the Rails documentation, like the guides, you want to be quite careful to make sure that you're working with the 3.2.18 documentation that we're on at the moment.
So, in fact, the object error is already accessible and set thanks to these lines.
Yes, the method errors. So we've done there on line 24. We're calling the method errors, and yeah, so include active model : validations on line 16 is making a method called errors available to your class.
Okay. Okay, thanks a lot then.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Good luck with the rest of the homework.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Glad to be able to do a little bit of help. I'm just Raheem. Raheem posted his email into the group chat there. I'm just inviting Raheem into the Slack. Yes, and with that, I think we can consider our work done. I hope I haven't spoken too quickly. Clearly, I should have a very large lunch every Wednesday, so I can speak as slowly as this. Yes, well, best of luck with the rest of the week, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you next week. We definitely need to, I don't know, I think we can have some better explanation for this Oracle of Bacon, because I think, as many people mentioned, they're getting stuck on that validation issue there. But, yeah, all right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye for now. I'll just slap Eric in the... oh, we'll go back over to... Oh, the sun, bright sun. I want to go... Invitations. There we go. And the nice thing about Slack is people, once you've joined, you can then choose which channels... Where's my Slack? There it is. You can, unlike Skype chat, which we were using for a long time, where you have to be invited into every room, you can kind of browse all the other rooms and you can join the ones that you're interested in. Yeah. All right, well, I'll wrap the broadcast up there. Thanks, everyone.